This is my second installment of my video blog. I know this is kind of quick, but I felt really called to do this one. I felt really compelled to do this post today. And it has to do with what I've been going through over the last little bit. As I mentioned in my last post, I recently went through a breakup with somebody that I cared a whole lot about. And today's blog post is about reconnecting to the divine in the opposite sex. And I know it's kind of a heady topic to talk about in a blog post like this that's supposed to be pretty short. I just feel it's important. With some of the things that have been happening, for me over the last month, things that have been clearing out, things that I've been finding, things that I found really meant something to me that were important was connection. Connection is extremely important to me. I thought I knew how to deal with connection and seeing the divine spark in people and seeing the divine spark in the opposite sex, and I thought I did pretty good at that. And then with all the changes of things that needed to be washed out, with the solar and lunar eclipse, some of the things that needed to change in my life was how I dealt with the feminine and how I dealt with the divine through the incarnation of the feminine. I did all these things. I honored the feminine in my relationship a lot, and then I found that there was a part of me that didn't. It was like divided. It's like almost being two totally different ways. And what I found was I thought that the divine had to come to me in a certain way, that I had to see the divine in a certain way, that I had to acknowledge the divine in the opposite sex in a way that was more colored through the lenses of my eyes, through traumas, pains, and hurts, that it had to manifest in a certain way. And I found through this process that I was wrong. I didn't even acknowledge what I thought. It was like a subconscious thought. And with all the craziness in my life over the last little bit, it really came out in a vengeance. And I ended up just being totally misguided to myself and what I wanted and what I needed in my life. So, I last Tuesday before last, I showed up at Soy. I ended up getting a message from my then significant other that we were broken up, and it's in the back of your mind you still think that maybe that's not it. And that's not real, but it is. And I got that message, and even still, I was very emotionally in a very sad place, in a very just open place. I went to Soy, and I had class that night, and I was ready to do my class, and I didn't really want to be there, man. Let me tell you, I really did not want to be there. I didn't want to be there. I would have been any place else except in class. I was upset. I was angry. I was hurt, and it just and I realized how much I actually was losing in this relationship. And then what I found was I come to school, and Casey Miller had a guest speaker that was going to be there that evening, talking about yoga, heart-centered yoga. And we had this 3-hour-long talk that this person gave, Mark Whitwell. And he's an author. You can find him on Amazon. Very good talk. He really didn't say anything that I really didn't know, and that was probably the case for most of us that were in the audience, But he brought it home, and the way he said it was just so artfully done and so worthwhile. It was amazing. And he was talking about connecting with self and the divinity in self, and then seeing the divinity in the world around you and the divinity in the spark in the opposite sex, and he was talking about divine union and how that was, basically a way to touch the divine, to touch God. And for those of us that are energy workers, that touch energy and have touched the divine and those that we love, that's no revelation, but it's amazing when you're in that kind of space and you realize what you've went through and where you were and what you had caused, and you realize what you'd had, and he talks about the connection and how lucky you are to find that wonderful connection in somebody else. And it hit me like a bullet to the head how my relationship with the divine the whole way along, the divine feminine, wasn't what it should be, and I've taken some major pains to change my way of thinking, to become something more. I made those changes in my life. I've been making those changes, and through what I've seen and my connection. And it's amazing when I look at the divine feminine, I take that moment to see in people and human beings that spark that's in their eyes. And if you know what I'm saying, if you look at a person, you can look in them or look at them and you can see that divine spark, that piece of God that's inside of them, that love that's inside of them, that beauty that's inside of them, and it doesn't need to manifest in any other way than what it does. That's the perfect way. It's the divine way, and that's the beautiful way to be. And it's amazing how you can know something and you can feel something intellectually and you know it in your mind and your heart, but yet you allow your fears and you allow your personal traumas to color your eyes and how you deal with the feminine or you deal with the divine and those people that are close to you, those people that you love, those people that mean so much. So that's why I wanted to do this blog today, to say that, and this is about practitioners. The practitioner can watch this, we can all watch this and get something out of it, is take that moment, and when you look at somebody, you look at that love that's there, make sure that the eyes that you're looking through aren't colored. They're not rosy colored or they're not darkly colored through the pain and the trauma and the things that you've went through, that we've went through, because there's so many times where we have that special spark where it could be so much more than what we allow it to be, and we think it's the other person, and it's really the connection that we have and how we're manifesting it to them. And in the end, the only thing we've got is divine connection. We always have it. We have that spark in us that we can touch, but we have to honor it as it comes up to us in the world. And those special people in our life, our family, our lovers, they're the closest manifestation to the divine that can give us that love back. In such a pure and wonderful way. So anyway, that's my video blog for today. That's my reminder. And I hope everybody enjoys it. Please leave a comment. Thank you. Goodbye.